words.
Patient family. Visual. All right. According to the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 to 12 in the U.S. As a mom and a preschool teacher, I've seen firsthand the benefits of using a car seat. I've also seen parents pulling up to our preschool with 3 kids, no car seats at all. I've seen friends get really big tickets. They've gone to jail, lives lost, lives saved. And the best way to protect your child in a car is to use a car seat. It's kind of overwhelming to think about which one you're going to use. There's so many. In the 1960s, you didn't have to use a car seat at all. You know, you could pop your child in the back of the window, in the very back seat, and nobody ever said anything. You weren't pulled over. But there's no excuse. Uneducation isn't an excuse for not using a car seat. So for the next couple minutes, I hope to teach you a little bit about choosing the right car seat. I also hope to review some pros and cons when it comes to car seats, and maybe you'll leave here with a better understanding of just how important it is to use a car seat. So the first question I want to cover is, how do I choose the right car seat for my child? On the Department of Safety website, it shows the guidelines of the child restraint law. It is the law. Every seat has a sticker on it. You can see right there. There's a sticker on the side of every one that you'll buy, even the older ones, telling you how to use it, which child should be in the seat and which one should not. It also should have an expiration date on every car seat so that you know if it is safe now or if it's out of date. Car seat inspection stations are also in your area. You can actually look on the NHTSA website and you can see different places around where you live where you can take your car seat and have it inspected. If you have a second-hand car seat, they will tell you then whether or not it's been wrecked or if it's safe to still use. So now that you kind of know, how to choose your car seat, we're going to go into why use them. Why is it important? Which brings us to the pros and cons. Some negatives to using car seats. They're heavy, they're huge, they're bulky. They can be expensive, a little bit uncomfortable, and hard to install. There's all these buttons and gadgets and stuff. But like I said, they do have the child inspection stations. They can be uncomfortable. When you teach children young, they get used to it. They can be expensive. Sometimes you can get secondhand, but you need to take them and have them inspected. And they are heavy, and that's just how it's got to be. A lot of people say the seats trap their children in the case of a collision. And, yeah, that could happen, but the instances of negative things happening while the child is buckled in are much, much less than if they're not buckled in. The seatbelt is hard to get out of if there are traps, but they do make seatbelt covers and escape hammers if you do ever get trapped. And you can purchase those online. It's safer to be inside, though. The CDC said that only 1% of restrained children are ejected or thrown from the vehicle. And that's really, really, really low. 73% of the ejected children are actually killed. So clearly it's safer to be in a car seat or a seatbelt. Some people say my child gets out of the seatbelt. They're an escape artist and I don't know what to do. In this case, the CDC said that 40% of children riding with drivers who were not buckled up were also not restrained. So this is all habit forming. Kids, they practice what, you need to practice what you preach. You need to teach your children young, and then they'll do it as they grow older. In another study done by the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, 72% of car and booster seats were installed incorrectly or misused in a way that could increase the chance of death. So a lot of people just aren't using them the right way. They're not buckling them correctly. They're using a shoulder strap for a regular car seat when they have a 5-point harness to use. So if you don't use them the right way, if you put a child who's supposed to be in the back in the front, the airbag's going to hit them. And these car seats are going to provide a lot of neck and head support. If you don't have it, car seat's going to chop their head off. The airbag's going to chop their head off. It's just not safe without it. A lot of people say, well, my car's too little. I don't have enough room to have a car seat. Once you have children, it's your responsibility. When we found out we were having a baby, we got a bigger vehicle. and that's just what we had to do. A child in a seat that isn't in the back, it's not safe. That airbag, like I said, it could chop their head off. The force could just cause really serious injury to a child who shouldn't be in the front seat. So I think that's enough negatives. We need to get to some positives. Obviously, they save lives. There's a higher survival rate if involved in an accident than children who don't use a car seat. It's time, to get people doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's the law, the safest way to transport your child, and if used properly, your odds of survival are 71% greater. So for me, choice is simple: life or death. Why do you care? You go to the doctor for preventative care, go to the dentist for preventative care. This is preventative care. It becomes routine. You teach them young. So if you see someone not using the right car seat, call the police department.